If you guys love playing the old and traditional openings, if you guys love simplicity, then you have probably heard about the center game. We start with the e4 and d4. And guys, in this video, I'm going to show you 5 insane traps that you can use in the center game. And guess what? Center game being the oldest, being the traditional, but it is actually very simpler than the all modern openings, and you can transform your opening into multiple things by just going e4 and d4. We have a lot more attacking chances by going these two maneuvers. You can actually set up a very great structure in your center by like these kind of developments, and this structure is actually rock solid, and there is hardly an opening that can actually crush your this structure. This is a rock solid structure. So that being said, center game is actually one of the very great opening if you love playing positional games. So guys, let's go with it. This is me Shivam Kumar, your host, and you are watching Mr. Citadel Chess, and we are going to see 5 insane traps in center game. So game start with the e4 and we have e5 standard king small opening. Through this, white is proclaiming the control of a center is called the very aggressive opening, because from the e4 only you can unleash multiple threats on the black's king, and that's actually very great. Like the f4 king's gambit, knight f3, bishop c4 Italian system, bishop b5 Rui Lopez, c3 Ponziani, d4 Scotch gambit. But here we are going to start with the center game by d4. Now pawn takes pawn, you recapture it with the queen. You have central queen and central pawn, so that's fine. You have a great center control here. Your opponent can either play knight c6 and also play knight f6. Both the knights have different purposes. Knight c6 actually attacks the queen and knight f6 attacks the pawn. So let's discuss first move, knight c6 hitting on the queen. That's not very prominent, right? So you have to go with queen e3 defending this pawn. And now guys, your opponent could play bishop b4 check on the king, a tactical development move. And also bishop e7 looks fine for the black. Let's discuss both of these moves. Let's say bishop b4 check on the king, a tactical development. You could play c3 hitting on this bishop, because if you play knight c3, then they will develop their knight and they are ready to go for a castle. They will complete their development. They will get ahead of you in their development. We don't want it, right? So we have to go with c3 hitting on the bishop. Now we have bishop a5. That's fine. We have bishop c4 hitting on this pawn at f7. Now if your opponent plays knight f6, you could play e5 hitting on this knight again, and this knight doesn't have really good squares to go. So this knight will become a more upset, right? So since black loves his knight, he will go with knight ge7 so that pawn e5 doesn't affect knight f6, right? Then we have what? Queen g3 hitting on this pawn at g7. Actually 79% people are going for a castle, so we have castle. Now we have h4 just ramming and barging inside the king's house. That's fine. Then we have knight g6 blocking the queen's path. Then we have h5 hitting on this knight. Let's say knight moves away, hitting on the bishop, defending this square. And guess what? Yes, we have bishop g5 hitting on the queen. A counteract maneuver, guys, because queen take this bishop is not an option, because queen takes queen is very great option for us. That's why queen e8 is their move. Then we have bishop f6 hitting on the knight and also going for this checkmate. That's actually very great threat. g7 is a checkmate. So they have to go with g6, and then only we have pawn takes pawn. If guys your opponent takes this pawn with the pawn, that's a blunder. We can't call it a blunder, but that's just game over because we have rook, yes, h8, and that's just checkmate. Let's say if knight take this pawn, then what do we have? Yes, queen sacrifice. Pawn can't take this queen because that's a pin. Great. Pawn takes queen. We still have rook h8, a checkmate. That's fine. This was the first trap. Okay guys, we're back on the initial position. We have discussed bishop b4 check on the king, a tactical development maneuver. Let's say bishop e7 going for a development phase. Knight f3, oh sorry, c3, that's fine. Then we have knight f6, we have bishop d2, a development. Then we have d5 hitting on the e4 square. Then we just take this pawn, that's fine. We have knight b4 hitting on c2, going for a royal 4. Oh, that's kind of a problematic for us. So we have to go for a queenside castle, that's fine, but this pawn is hanging. So yes, people are gonna take this pawn, and we want black to take this pawn because that's a trap. Yes, that's a poisonous pawn. So in the later phase of the channel, like in upcoming future, I will tell you guys how to identify when a pawn is poisonous, when you should capture a pawn, and when you should not capture a pawn. So I will make a video on that also, but for now, this is a poisonous pawn and we want black to capture it. So we are not going to defend this pawn. Now let's move forward. We have knight takes this pawn, that's fine. We have knight takes knight, and now guys, black could take this knight with his knight. That looks fine option, but this knight can also be captured by the queen. So that's why black thinks like knight a2 check on the king. King moves away and queen takes this knight with a defense on the knight, and that's fine. That's what black thinks, but that's not what we are thinking, because we have very great maneuver. Like queen's protection to the knight can be diminished or can be nullified by only a single move, and that's b3. That's the same maneuver which you do in the Russo Gambit, but I haven't explained you Russo Gambit, right? But don't worry, we are going to discover that also. Now, after b3, queen's control on the knight or queen's defense on the knight just vanished. That's why knight b4 is the only move. Guess what? Black is still ahead by one full piece, but that's not the only thing Black has to see, because Black has another threat that he has to handle, and that is actually very great. Now, guys, can you guess that perfect move? Can you guess that brilliant sacrifice that White has to make to get 5-piece advantage? I'm not kidding, guys. It's actually 5-piece advantage that White will get, and you have to guess that move. Now, if you are able to find that move, then do comment, okay? So that move is queen takes this bishop at e7. Let's say king take this queen because there is no other option. The king takes. Then we have bishop b4, check on the king. A very great and simultaneous check. Let's say king e8. And this queen is just lost. You have 5-point lead. Congratulations. Let's say king f6 to defend the queen. So that even if rook takes this queen, king takes the rook, and the material will get slightly balanced. But we are not going to let Black to balance the material because we have bishop c4 bring this queen to the king, and this queen is still lost forever. So guys, let's start our third trap. It's actually very amazing, guys, because in this trap you are actually going to win a queen. That's really very great. So we have e4, e5 center king's pawn opening. We go with d4 center game, pawn takes, queen takes, and we have knight harassing our queen. But this time we are not going with queen e3, but queen a4 is our move. And this pawn is kind of a hanging. That's why, guys, black is going to attack this pawn anyway. So he will go with knight f6 hitting on this pawn. We simply just go with knight this c3 defending this pawn. That's fine. He will go with d5 hitting his pawn one more time, and we simply just nullify knight's defense on this pawn. So that's fine with us. Now black has two attackers, but since we have used our bishop to pin the knight to the queen, the attack has reduced to 1. That's fine. We have adequate defense here. That's great. Now black may think that pawn takes pawn, and after knight take this pawn, queen e7 can pin this knight to the king, and the moment we have queenside castle or any kind of castle, queen take this knight, queen takes this queen, knight take this queen. Guess what? Black ends up with a superior position. That's what Black thinks, but there is slight a change. There is just a slight change. We are not gonna go for a castle. We are not gonna defend our knight, but we are going to do something very crazy. Yes, we are going for a castle. You heard it right. So we are going for a castle. As per planned, queen take this knight is the option. But as per our plan, we are not going to recapture queen with a queen. Instead, we are going with rook b8. Literally a very genius move. Let's say king take this rook. Now, guys, this knight is pinned. You can see. So we have queen takes queen. This knight can't even take our queen because that's a pin. Great. We just won a queen. Congratulations, this was the third trap. Let's say if king goes to e7 instead of taking the rook, guess what? This knight is still pinned, right? So queen takes is good option. King takes, we have this check. That's a pin, right? So let's say bishop defends, you just grab this pawn, that's fine. And we have king moves away, you just grab this knight. Pawn takes, queen takes, hitting on this rook, rook has to move away. And now, guys, you could simply develop your knight at f3, that's fine. You could play logically, you are going to win this game in no time, that's great. Okay, guys, we have seen 3 traps so far, and I hope you have liked it. Let's move on our 4th and 5th trap. So we have e4, e5, we have d4 center game, pawn takes pawn, queen takes, and this time we have knight f6 hitting on this pawn. What you could do, bishop g5 pinning this knight to the queen, that's fine. We have bishop unpinning the knight. We go with the h4 defending this knight and also going for some kind of tactics. We have castle and simply go with knight c3, that's fine. If your opponent plays s6 hitting on the bishop, don't worry, just go for a queenside castle. It's actually very fine. You need your rook to be h1, so don't go for a kingside castle. Although you can't even do it because you have 2 minor pieces already at kingside. But still, I'm telling you, after you play h4, don't play kingside castle, go for a queenside because we need our rook at h1 for a very great variation. It's called the fishing pole variation. Knight moves, we have pawn to g6 hitting on this knight. Knight moves again, and what can we do? Simply go with e5 hitting on this knight. Let's say knight moves away. We have takes, rook takes, and we go with bishop c4 pinning this rook. That's amazing. Let's say knight c3 hitting on this queen. We have bishop takes, king takes, queen check, king moves away. Yes, you heard it right. Rook h8, checkmate. Now guys, we are on the last leg of this video where we are going to see a very great tactics here, a very great development move that black can opt, and that's b6 going for the fianchetto of a light square bishop. That's fine actually. Then we have b5 hitting on the knight, knight moves to d4, we go with f4, just going for a central control and also defending this bishop. Moreover, just barging on the king's house. That's also one of the tactics here. Knight c6 hitting on the queen, we simply go with queen. E4, we have d5, knight takes, we have bishop to this f5 going hitting on the queen. The moment we take the bishop, our knight is just hanging and now king's d1 square is just controlled by our opponent's queen. But we don't care. Don't worry, just take the bishop. Queen takes, we have bishop to this d3 blocking the control so that we can go for a queenside castle, that's fine. This pawn is kind of a hanging. So I don't think we should go for a queenside castle, but instead we play b3 first and then we can go for a queenside castle. This look fine. Then we have g6 hitting on the queen. Then we have queen e4 going for a trade, and we have bishop takes. Now this knight is kind of pinned to the rook. At this point of time, guys, your opponent must play bishop take with bishop. That's actually great move to play. But in a 2200 rated match, like I guess it was a blitz match or rabbit, I don't even remember. But in a 2200 rated match, black actually played knight d4, aiming to go on c2 fork on the king and the rook, but allowing his own rook to get captured by the bishop. कोई बात नहीं, that's fine. Bishop takes this rook. That's great. Knight takes, we have king moves away f2, they take our rook. And this point of time, we have to go bishop to the bishop, hitting on this rook. It's fine. However, in that match, white played bishop c6 hitting on this knight. I don't know why he played it. Maybe because this knight doesn't have really good squares to go. So this knight is just trapped there. So that's fine. I don't have to. I mean, what can I say? Best move was actually bishop to the bishop, and let's say king moves away because there's not another good move here. I guess let's say king moves away, just grab it, king take, and then you play bishop e4 to control the c2 square so that knight can't get an escape route. That's fine. We have pawn to f5, go for a n pass in. That's great. Let's say king moves away. You have knight development, king takes, rook takes. Guess what? You are fine here. है ना? I mean, you have total of 8-point lead. So guys, this was the center game and these were the 5 insane traps in the center game. I hope you have liked it. So guys, thank you for watching. This is me, Shivam Kumar, your host, Mr. Siddharth Chess, the channel. And do like, share, comment, and subscribe channel for more videos like this. And if you ever try any of these traps, do comment about it, that how these traps actually worked. Okay, so that's fine. You can share your experience in the comment too. So I will in the next video. Till then, take care.